Urgent Dallas Cowboys fans, do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel because here we bring you daily videos with the latest Dallas Cowboys updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey Cowboys Nation. Today we're diving deep into a story that's sending shockwaves through the Dallas Cowboys fan base and the entire NFL community. It's a story about change, uncertainty, and the path forward for one of the most storied franchises in American football. We're talking about the recent, and quite surprising, decision to part ways with defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus. This move comes after what can only be described as a disappointing season on the defensive side of the ball, and it raises a lot of questions about what's next for the Cowboys' defense and their overall strategy moving into the 2024 offseason and beyond. But before we get into the details, let me ask you a question. What does this firing really mean for the team? Is this just a shake-up, or does it signal a new direction entirely? And who will be the man to fill those big shoes left by Eberflus? These are the questions that fans and analysts alike are asking right now, and trust me, the answers are more complex and intriguing than many might expect. So buckle up, because we're about to explore every angle of this story in incredible detail, from the implications on the team's current roster to the broader context of the NFL landscape, and even how this move fits into the Cowboys' historical pattern of coaching changes. Now, let's start with the announcement itself. The Cowboys made it official. Matt Eberflus is out as defensive coordinator. This news didn't come as a total surprise, especially considering the team's defensive struggles throughout 2023. The Cowboys, traditionally known for their stout defense, especially during the early 2010s under Rob Ryan and later Rod Marinelli, have seen their defensive efficiency plummet this season. The team ranked a dismal 30th in total defense, allowing an average of 377 yards per game, a figure that's frankly unacceptable for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. If you think about it, that's nearly 400 yards of offense allowed per game, more than enough for any opponent to keep their offense on the field and control the game tempo. More shockingly, the pass defense was historically bad, dead last in the league, allowing an average of 251, 5 yards per game and 35 passing touchdowns. That's a staggering number, and it's no wonder the Cowboys' secondary struggled so much. The inability to generate turnovers, only a handful of interceptions all season, further compounded their woes. The rush defense, while slightly better, also left much to be desired, ranking 23rd league-wide, allowing 125, 5 yards per game and giving up a league-high 24 rushing touchdowns. To put this into perspective, these stats highlight systemic issues that go beyond individual players. They reflect scheme, coaching, and perhaps overall defensive philosophy. So the team decided to make a change. The Cowboys, known for their stability and strategic planning, have now parted ways with Eberflus after just a couple of seasons. Here's where things get really interesting. Who will be the next defensive coordinator? The options are heating up, and names like Raheem Morris and Jonathan Gannon have been floated around as high-profile candidates. But there's one name that's gaining traction among insiders and analysts in recent days: Jeff Ulbrich. Now, who is Jeff Ulbrich? For those of you who aren't familiar, Ulbrich is a 48-year-old coach with an extensive NFL background. He played as a linebacker from 2000 through 2009, and he spent the last several years on coaching staffs, notably with the New York Jets and the Atlanta Falcons. Interestingly, Ulbrich was recently the interim head coach of the Jets, which shows he's held leadership roles at the highest level of NFL coaching. But what makes him a wild card candidate for Dallas? According to insider Joseph Hoyt of the Dallas Morning News, Ulbrich's familiarity with some of the current Cowboys coaching staff, especially with defensive line coach Aaron Whitekitton, makes him a promising option for continuity. The Cowboys are clearly looking for someone who can bring stability and familiarity to a defense that desperately needs it. They want someone who can quickly implement a scheme that fits their personnel, players like Micah Parsons, Trevon Diggs, and others, without disrupting the chemistry they've been trying to build. Ulbrich's experience with the Jets' defense and his previous coaching stints suggest he could adapt quickly and bring a fresh perspective to the Cowboys' scheme. But let's take a step back for a moment. Why is this coaching change so significant? Well, historically, the Cowboys have had a pattern of hiring former head coaches or highly experienced coordinators to run their defense. Since 2014, the team has had a succession of defensive coordinators with head coaching experience. Rod Marinelli, Mike Nolan, Dan Quinn, Mike Zimmer, and now Matt Eberflus. This pattern indicates that Dallas values leadership and strategic vision in their defensive staff, often opting for coaches who have been at the top of their game or have prior head coaching experience in the NFL. And what does this say about the current thinking of the Cowboys front office? Are they trying to emulate the model of NFL teams that prioritize seasoned, proven leaders at the coordinator position? Or are they seeking someone who can bring innovative ideas and adapt to the evolving offensive strategies across the league? It's a critical question because the NFL has shifted significantly in recent years, with offenses becoming more sophisticated and defenses needing to evolve rapidly. Now, considering the ongoing struggles of the Cowboys' defense, it's clear that something needs to change. Allowing 377 yards per game and 60 touchdowns across the season is not just a statistical anomaly. It's a reflection of systemic issues. The team's leadership has to ask themselves, is this a coaching problem, a scheme problem, or perhaps a personnel issue? Most signs point to coaching, especially since the players like Micah Parsons and Trevon Diggs are among the league's most talented. They've shown flashes of brilliance, but been hampered by inconsistent schemes and miscommunications. Let's analyze the coaching philosophy that Eberflus brought to Dallas. Known for his time with the Indianapolis Colts and his background with the Chicago Bears, Eberflus emphasized a disciplined, gap-control style of defense. Yet under his watch, the Cowboys' defense seemed to struggle with adapting to the league's increasingly pass-heavy offenses. The secondary, led by Trevon Diggs, who is an aggressive and ball-hawking cornerback, often got burned or caught out of position, leading to big plays. Micah Parsons, widely regarded as one of the league's most dominant pass rushers, still managed to rack up impressive sack numbers, but even he was sometimes left isolated due to scheme gaps. This raises a crucial point. Can a new coordinator implement a scheme that better suits the current roster? Or is it necessary to overhaul some of the personnel? While the Cowboys' front office has been cautious in making drastic roster changes, the defensive scheme must evolve to match the league's offensive trends: more spread, more quick passes, and versatile offenses that exploit defensive mismatches. So what might the future hold? If the Cowboys go with Ulbrich or another experienced coordinator, it could mean a shift toward a more aggressive, scheme-flexible defense. This might involve more blitzing or hybrid coverage schemes that better utilize the talents of players like Parsons and Diggs. On the other hand, if they decide to stick with a candidate like Gannon or Morris, who have their own philosophies, we could see a different approach, perhaps more zone coverage, more emphasis on discipline, or a different style of pass rush. And then there's the question of how this impacts the team's overall outlook for 2024 and beyond. The Cowboys are in a crucial period. They've built a talented roster, but coaching and scheme are what can elevate them from good to great. The NFL is a league where coaching staff changes can have immediate or long-term effects, depending on execution. Some teams, like the Kansas City Chiefs or the San Francisco 49ers, have shown how a well-coached defense can be a game-changer. The Cowboys, with their star players and history, are keenly aware of this, and that's why they're making such a strategic move now. Now, let's talk about the implications of this decision on the team's draft plans, free agency targets, and overall roster management. If they focus on a defensive coordinator who emphasizes a certain scheme, they might look to add players who fit that mold, perhaps more hybrid linebackers or versatile defensive backs. This decision also influences how they will approach the draft, especially in terms of selecting players who can excel in a new defensive scheme. In terms of the upcoming season, the Cowboys' coaching change could be the catalyst for a defensive turnaround. Imagine a defense that is more disciplined, better at forcing turnovers, and capable of adapting to different offensive schemes. This could be the missing piece to finally push them into serious playoff contention and even a Super Bowl run. But of course, it all hinges on who they hire and how quickly that new coordinator can implement their vision. And let's not forget the fans' reactions. Cowboys fans are passionate and deeply invested. They've seen their fair share of coaching changes and rebuilding phases. Many are hopeful, some are skeptical, but all are eager to see how this new coaching decision unfolds. The social media chatter is already buzzing with speculation, memes, and predictions, and that's just the beginning. The media will dissect every move, every press conference, every detail in the coming weeks. Looking at the broader NFL landscape, the Cowboys' decision fits into a bigger trend of teams prioritizing coaching stability and strategic evolution. With the league's offenses becoming more complex, defenses need coaches who can keep up or even get ahead of the curve. The hiring of a coach like Ulbrich could be a smart move, especially if he can bring innovative ideas to the table while maintaining some continuity with the existing roster. Now, let's consider the potential challenges. Transitioning to a new defensive coordinator always comes with risks. There's a learning curve, and sometimes new schemes can initially cause confusion or miscommunication. The Cowboys will need to be patient and ensure that their players buy into the new philosophy. Micah Parsons, who has been a bright spot all season, will have a big role in setting the tone, but it's up to the coaching staff to develop a cohesive system that maximizes his talents. All of this leads us to the big question. What can we realistically expect from the Cowboys in 2024? If they get it right, and the new coordinator can implement a scheme that leverages their personnel's strengths, we could see a significant jump in defensive rankings. The team might go from giving up league-high touchdowns to being a more formidable, balanced defense that complements their potent offense led by Dak Prescott and the skill players. This could translate into more wins, a better playoff seed, and a real shot at contending for a Super Bowl, something Cowboys fans have been dreaming of for years. Of course, nothing is guaranteed in the NFL. Every coaching change, every strategic adjustment comes with its own set of variables. Injuries, player development, and even luck play a role. But what's clear is that the Cowboys are making a decisive move to address a glaring weakness. They're investing in their future and showing that they're willing to adapt to new realities in the league. Now, imagine the scenarios that could unfold in the coming months. We might see the Cowboys targeting a seasoned NFL head coach like Gannon or Morris, or perhaps they'll take a chance on someone like Ulbrich, whose fresh perspective might be exactly what they need. The draft and free agency will also be influenced by this decision. Maybe more emphasis on defensive playmakers or hybrid players that fit the new scheme. And of course, the fans will be watching closely. Every game, every coaching session, every roster move will be scrutinized, debated, and analyzed. The Cowboys season is a story of resilience, strategy, and passion, elements that make football the great sport it is. The coaching change might be the spark that reignites their championship ambitions, or it could set them back temporarily as they rebuild. So, in summary, Cowboys' decision to fire Matt Eberflus is a major turning point. It signals a willingness to evolve and adapt, to bring in new leadership that can better develop their talented roster. The choice of a new defensive coordinator will be critical, and all signs point to the team seeking someone with NFL head coaching experience, or at least a proven track record of innovative defense schemes. The coming weeks will be crucial in shaping the identity of this Dallas Cowboys team, and I, for one, can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Dallas Cowboys news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and IT makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let's continue with the big reveal. As we look ahead, the Cowboys will need to focus on integrating their new defensive philosophy with their existing roster. Micah Parsons, for example, has been a game wrecker all season, and his ability to rush the quarterback and drop into coverage will be vital in any new scheme. Trevon Diggs, with his ball-hawking instincts, remains a key piece in their secondary, but he'll need a disciplined approach from the new coaching staff to reach his full potential. How the new coordinator designs their game plan around these players could be the difference between a middling defense and one that can truly carry the team deep into January. Furthermore, the coaching change also raises questions about leadership in the locker room. Players like Parsons, Diggs, and Prescott are leaders on and off the field. They'll have a huge influence on how quickly the new system is adopted. The chemistry and buy-in from the team will be essential for the defense to improve rapidly. The Cowboys have a talented roster, but talent alone isn't enough. It's the coaching and scheme that unlock that talent and turn it into consistent success. Now, let's talk about the broader implications. How does this move compare to what's happening across the league? Well, many NFL teams are recognizing that defense wins championships, and investing in top-tier coaching is part of that strategy. The Chiefs, for example, have thrived with their defensive schemes under Steve Spagnuolo, and the 49ers continue to dominate with their innovative hybrid defense. The Cowboys seem to be aiming for something similar, an adaptable, aggressive approach that can match the league's offensive trends. Hiring a coach like Ulbrich, who has NFL experience and familiarity with the current coaching landscape, could be a step toward that goal. Looking further into the future, what do the Cowboys need to do to maximize this coaching change? First, they must ensure the new coordinator understands their core philosophy and can develop a scheme that plays to their strengths. Second, they should consider roster adjustments that complement the new approach, perhaps more versatile linebackers or corners capable of executing complex coverage schemes. Third, player development will be key, giving their stars like Parsons and Diggs the tools and coaching to excel in this new environment. The offseason will be a critical period. The Cowboys front office has to evaluate their current personnel, identify gaps, and target free agents or draft prospects who fit the new defensive identity. This is a strategic process that could shape the team's trajectory for years to come. A strong defensive unit can take pressure off Dak Prescott and the offense, allowing them to be more aggressive and dynamic in their play calling. And of course, the fans will be watching all these developments with bated breath. The excitement, anticipation, and even skepticism are part of what makes NFL football so compelling. The Cowboys have a passionate fan base that demands excellence, and right now, there's a mixture of hope and uncertainty. Will the new coaching staff be able to turn things around quickly? Can they develop a defense that is not just better, but elite? These questions will be answered over the coming months, and every step of the way is going to be fascinating to analyze. In conclusion, the Dallas Cowboys' decision to part ways with Matt Eberflus marks a pivotal moment in their ongoing saga. It's a move rooted in a desire to improve, to adapt, and to finally realize that elusive Super Bowl dream. The hunt for their next defensive coordinator is underway, and with it comes the hope of a new, more formidable defense that can carry the team through the playoffs and into the championship conversation. Whether this move pays off or not, one thing is certain: the Cowboys are not standing still. They are evolving, and that's what makes this offseason so exciting for all of us who love the star on the helmet. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this coaching shakeup? Do you believe Ulbrich is the right guy? Or do you think they should pursue a different path? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Dallas Cowboys. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and insights into everything Dallas Cowboys. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, go Cowboys.